So today I'm going to be showing you how to get your footage from your camera to Final Cut Pro X. And hopefully we can still keep you entertained while the captain yearns for hallelujah.
Glory, glory, hallelujah!
So let's get into it. Okay, so we're in Final Cut Pro X now. So, just on the second screen there, but there, as you can see, I'm running version 10.4.8. You can see over here, I've got all my Finding Joe episodes. I've got January, February, and March. So for this tutorial, I've already started a folder. So how to organize footage, folders, and libraries in Final Cut Pro X. So what you want to firstly do, what I like to do, start off with video. And next to that, I'm going to have audio. And in the video folder, I'm going to create another folder. I'm going to call it A7iii because that's the camera I use. And the second camera I use is the Gopro Hero 7. You can use whatever camera that you use, you put in the video section. And for audio, I like to put in Rec Forge 2, which is what I record most of my audio on when I'm out in the boat, and then transfer it into the folder here so I can sync it with the footage. I also have sound effects, and in this folder I'm going to have music. So when I'm doing tutorials in the video section, I normally have screen recordings as well. Here's my A7iii footage, so I'm going to click on that. I'm going to open up the folder, it's in clip. So I like to just organise that by kind, show all. So these are all past film clips. For today's exercise, I'm going to just use these two. So I'm going to drag them, fix up these folders. So I'm going to drag these two clips, which is my A7, what have I got A7 II? Sorry, A7iii. I'll have to rename that. And I'm going to eject A7iii. I'm going to put in the GoPro footage. So I'll go back to Hero 7. And there we are there. So I'll open that up. And DCM should be in here, GoPro. There it is there. For this tutorial we're going to throw in that clip there because I actually haven't filmed anything with the GoPro for this tutorial. For audio, I'm going to go to Rec Forge 2, drag in my Rec Forge 2 audio. Now I'm going to create another folder and we're going to call that Final Cut Pro X Library. Excuse me. We'll just set that aside over here. Now Final Cut Pro X, I'm going to come up here and I'm going to create a new library. And we're going to call this How to Organize Libraries, Footage and Folders. And we're going to save that. I'm going to save that to our current episode and the folder that we've created. save it just like that. So in there will be your Final Cut Pro X library. Now I do that because some of these older episodes I just created a library without any folders, just thinking that the footage was going to be kept in the actual Final Cut library. But then when I changed computers and hard drives, I lost all the original footage. So if we show the package contents here, I can go to A7iii, massive snapper, original footage, original media, and none of there. So show original, can't be opened because you can't be found. So that's the reason why now I create all the folders on the actual computer itself. So then once I'm finished doing my episodes, I can literally just transfer them to a hard disk, such as that. So your Seagate. Sorry, I could transfer them to an external drive and just keep them on there. In your Final Cut Pro preferences, you want to make sure import that you leave files in place. So all files that are currently in your computer folders and whatever else there are going to stay and remain there. So that ever you need to open up Final Cut Pro X. So if you ever need to open up Final Cut Pro X at a later stage and grab any footage that you need, they're all going to be there within that the folder that you've created. So we're going to go File, New Event, and that will be in the library that you've just created. So we're going to call that Video, same as your folder. Okay, so now that we've created our video folder or our event in Final Cut Pro X, so each event is like a folder. So if we go up the top here, we can actually open a new event as many times as you want. So when you first start a library, it automatically gives you an event to go with that. So we can change that one there and call that audio. So like that. So now we've got our video and audio, and in here we've got our video and audio. So we've imported the video from our SD cards. So in here we've created a separate folder. So I've got our intro, which is a Fine and Joe intro that I use, and for tutorials I use obviously the screen recording there. And I've got my GoPro and A7iii. So now I can just drag each individual folder into the video, and then bang, your footage is imported directly into Final Cut Pro X. Same goes with the Hero 7. We've got the screen recordings, and there's my intro. So the video folder will show all the footage, and each individual folder will show the separate footage. And then with our audio folder, we do exactly the same thing. So in our audio, we've got my Rec Forge 2, which is currently what I'm recording this tutorial on. So that footage, so the audio, you can just drag into the audio folder, and there's your Rec Forge. So you've got your sound effects. So whenever you create a folder, you must put something in it and then drag it across for it to work. Sound effects will go into audio, and we've got our music, which will go into audio as well. So that's all there. So you can, in the video section here, right click and go new keyword collection. So then you could name that whatever you liked. I don't know, screenshots or something. You could put that in there. So if ever you take a screenshot of say a map or something like that, you would then import it into here, and then you could drag it back across into here. But I personally, if we delete that keyword section, I personally like to create the folder over here first, import all my footage or my audio into that first, and then drag it across into the appropriate folders. So what I like to do now is create another event or folder, and we'll call this folder projects. So a project is your working project. So that's like your timeline, that's your editing footage. So, and within that project folder, I'm actually going to create a project. And we'll call that how to organise footage there. And I'll keep that because I'm doing this in 4K, so I'll keep that in 4K. Everything else the same. So that there is your project. And on the right hand side, if you ever need to, you could always modify that project. So the first thing I want to do now to actually start creating something in your timeline is go to your A7 III, and we can drag that into your timeline because we've set that up. So just for argument's sake, we'll go back to the project there. We'll click on that one. So you can see here that the actual frame rate of the actual project is actually 23 or 24 frames per second, which is what I like to do it in because I record in 24 frames, which is like the cinematic look. So if I want to modify the project, I can. So I could change that to 4K, 2K, 1080, whatever I like, and the resolution. The only thing I can't change, I think, is the frame rate. So that's widescreen. No, I can't. So you want to make sure that you're in the right frame rate first off. So I like to record in 24 frames. So I like to make the project in 24 frames, which is like cinematic look. But say you record in 120 frames on your camera, well, you could do like a 60 frame project. And that would look super smooth. Should try that. That'd be good one day. So yeah, so you want to drag your footage into your timeline there. So I've got some GoPro footage there. And for this tutorial, I'll be actually basically putting that underneath actually. And I'll be getting my little noggin there. And this is how I do it anyway, just for a quick tutorial. I go to the transform button and throw that there, and I can just throw that down there like that. When you're finished creating your episode, like I'll show you now, boating tip. Okay, so that's all my footage there. So in the video, you can see I've got the GoPro, which is here. I've got graphics. So that's the graphics folder there. So you can go there and it shows that one there. You know, I've got the Mavic Pro footage, so all of that there, I just literally just dragged and dropped into the Mavic Pro folder here. And that's all my footage there, and you can see what parts I've used it to make this little intro here. And underneath, you can see where I've done like a sound design. So that's all my sound effects there. I've got waves and I've got wind, and some of it I made myself and some of it I downloaded from Epidemic Sound. So I've got the music in the background there. So if you look, go up to the audio, and then that's all my audio there. So I've got my sound effects, which is unorganized within there, but still you get the picture. And then that's my music folder, which I use. So basically, once I've finished this episode here, so the boating tip there, so I can close that library and I can go back here, and then where it says boating tip there, so I can get, say, the whole of March. So I can drag and drop that whole March into this Seagate portable hard drive, and then I can store that for later. So if I ever need to get any footage from that hard drive, it's stored there and I can use that in future episodes. So perfect. Well, I hope you found that tutorial useful. If you did, leave that in the comments below. If you didn't, leave that in the comments below as well. All feedback is duly appreciated. So if you're not subscribed and you want to join the Fine and Joe crew, then you might want to consider hitting that subscribe button and bell notification so you keep up to date with all the latest episodes that are coming out. Speaking of coming out, I've got a few more boating tips coming out, and also some footage of us trying to catch gummies offshore. Doesn't quite go to plan, so that's coming up. So until then, I'll see you in the next video.